power to forbid an assembly to be conducted by opposition parties. Democracy fades out in Dominica and dictatorship becomes the order of the day. If you have been reading any of the articles that I have been posting of late, you have seen the deterioration of the rule of law in Dominica and the rise of autocratic rule. This one act, which has codified the acts of the local government in 2017, is the beginning of the end for democracy in Dominica. For foreign investors, eco-tourists, yachtsmen, and other travelers, the risk levels have flown off the chart, given the rampant corruption, vote buying, sale of passports to all comers, and general fear and loathing. For international bankers, country risk has risen so high as to make it a jurisdiction to avoid leaving the population high and dry while the corrupt national leadership breaks in their lucre. Welcome to Dominica. For risk management purposes, it is the new Haiti, a kleptocracy.
Of course, that's the latest information there on the blog. Very interesting, very interesting. A country in the Eastern Caribbean facing dictatorship. That is what is being asked there. Was stated by Mr. Richard this morning. Very, very interesting. On the line with me at this time, Mr. George, Public Relations Officer, former senior police officer in the police service. He's on the line with me at this time. Mr. George, you wrote that letter requesting the meeting today. What do you make of the response you're getting?
Matt, good morning to you. Good morning to your listeners, particularly those in constituents in the Collioure constituency, which comprises Bios, Jubla, and Collioure. We in the United Workers' Party have been saying for a long while that the democratic system that we once knew is now comatose. It is dying a quick death on the floor of the parliament in Dominica, in the several institutions that help us govern in this country, within the cabinet, and other institutions under the rule of this government. We have expressed a willingness to tell the Dominican people what is happening as far as governance is concerned in this country. We exercise, and when I say we, the United Workers' Party exercise its right of free association as enshrined under the Constitution to apply for permission to hold a demonstration. Today, we would assemble at the Newtown Savannah, traverse across Victoria Street, in Eugenia Charles Boulevard, King George V Street, Great George Street, Kennedy Avenue, and end at the upper Kennedy Avenue, where we decided to hold a meeting. We would start at 4:30 and end at 11. We did that application on the 3rd of April, thereabouts. On the 21st of April, I received a response from the Chief of Police in the afternoon, around about 3 p.m., advising that permission had been denied for the demonstration for national security and safety reasons, and also that we were to seek another venue other than the venue on Upper Kennedy Avenue. We discussed this, a response from the Chief of Police, and yesterday afternoon we got word that an order had been written by the Minister of National Security forbidding any meeting today on Upper Kennedy Avenue, Bath Road, Hillsborough Street, and Queen Mary Street. Now, these for us are serious developments in our country. But it is not only for me and the leadership of the United Workers' Party to sit and reflect on these developments. It is for the whole of Dominica. It is for the whole of the Caribbean. It is for the whole of the world to reflect on what is happening in this little country. And you must ask yourself, what is the reason? One of the main reasons for these actions by the government is because the United Workers' Party has made a legitimate call for the resignation of Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit and his cabinet because of the deceit they have practiced on the people of Dominica, because of the political intrigue that they have placed Dominica in, because the threat not only to Dominica's security and regional security, but to world security. These matters are being trivialized in certain quarters. It is being treated as if, well, it is a party political defense of a manifesto in an election. That is not what it is. It is an attack on a value system that we held dear. The system that E.O. LeBlanc represented when he led Dominica. We all know that E.O. LeBlanc was a man of impeccable integrity. And when he was challenged, you have the tape, Matt, when his last statement to his party and what he said. This man is credited for ensuring that discrimination, victimization, and nepotism was out of our system. It has gotten back in our system in a frightful way. So people of conscience in Dominica, the intellectuals in Dominica, must understand this is not just a party political matter, but it is a national matter where values, our value system matter. I am hearing most times that politicians seem to be corrupt, they are dishonest. Is that what we expect from our politicians? That when you commit grievous crimes at that level, you do not have what it is in you to decide that I have wronged the people and I must step aside. Democracy is dying in Dominica. Our democratic way of life is under attack. The minister has made this order. The minister will have plenty orders to make. And finally, Matt, I want to explain something to you and to tell you and define what I mean by the democratic system is under attack. The legitimate call for the resignation of the Prime Minister, most of it is predicated on the deception in the treatment and use of diplomatic passports by this government. No explanation, no reason is given for the appointment of officers. And when questions are legitimately asked in Parliament, you're essentially told it is not your business to ask those questions. You won't get the answers. Then we are discovering that our diplomats and our naturalized citizens are involved in crime against humanity across the globe, being arrested left, right, and center. And when we ask questions of our government, they call the leadership of the United Workers' Party terrorists. We are not terrorists. We are patriots of our country. And we are saying to this government to understand that they have outlived their moral right to govern this country and should step down.
Here's the question that a few people, including a lawyer this morning, is asking this morning. A lawyer can say maybe on your side. How can this Public Other Act be unjust when a few years ago you can be blamed for the same against the Dominica Freedom Party? What makes this Public Other Act different this morning, sir?
The act, I have never said that the act is unjust.
Mm-hmm.
I've never said that.
But some people are claiming that it is.
No, well, you are speaking to me. I have never said, nor has the United Workers' Party said in any statement. I think I'm the first official of the United Workers' Party to speak on that issue. I have never said it is unjust. The laws are on the books.
Mm-hmm.
but there is a modicum of reasonableness that must be exercised when you're enforcing that law. Because the Constitution says there's a right to freedom of association. So here is the person who's made the comment. Here's my comment now. If we apply for permission to demonstrate on the 15th of May, are we to be denied? On the 15th of June, are we to be denied? On the 15th of August. Every month from now, we apply. When is the minister going to determine that national, in other words, do we have a perpetual national security and safety issue as far as it pertains to the United Workers' Party?
So in other words, there is no justification.
The minister must give us the justification. All right? In the absence of this justification, we are left to say that he is applying the law indiscriminatively and not fairly. Now, here's something. The Prime Minister refuses to resign. The President asks us to show him the law that would authorize him. He believes that the Prime Minister should resign. He knows that. He believes that. In his letter to us, he said, show him the authority on the law to do so. That's what he wrote. No action is taken. The courts cannot be moved to take action. When action was taken and the court moved on the matter of the election of the Prime Minister, it took 3 years for determination to come from the court. When the people decide to express their dissent, then it is suppressed by the minister. What more do you require to tell you that the three branches, the three elements, the three institutions that sustain our democratic principles, the judiciary, the executive, and the parliament, where we take matters to, we are ridiculed in the parliament. None of them is effective in this environment presently. So are we now to become a docile people, and that, no, we are hearing, that law to amend the electoral laws in Dominica are being fast-forwarded, and it might be in Parliament soon. That law is to perpetuate the remaining of these cabinet members in office. It is not to enhance democracy in Dominica. How can a government go to Parliament and pass law solely for their personal benefit? And we sit here as a nation in Dominica and we say, we like it so. The mighty sparrow said so we like it so in Dominica.
No public relations officer there. Thank you very much. Of the Opposition United Workers' Party, former Deputy Commissioner of Police, Mr. George, reacting to the Public Other Act. And of course, I told you this morning, and we heard it from the blogger, controversial blogger, Mr. Kenneth Richards. Of course, the international community is already reacting. Let's listen again. Of course, down there by Kimberly Benjamin. Let's listen again.
The right of peaceable assembly may be one of the cherished rights of the English-speaking countries, but this week it was abolished in a country that must now be regarded as a former democracy, now rapidly becoming a dictatorship. The population of the Commonwealth of Dominica has now, by decree, lost the right to assemble and discuss their grievances. On Monday, April 24, 2017, the Minister of Justice, Immigration and National Security enacted a regulation that enables him to ban any public meeting, assembly, or demonstration. He then used this new and absolute power to forbid an assembly to be conducted by opposition parties. Democracy fades out in Dominica and dictatorship becomes the order of the day. If you have been reading any of the articles that I have been posting of late, you have seen the deterioration of the rule of law in Dominica and the rise of autocratic rule. This one act, which has codified the acts of the local government in 2017, is the beginning of the end for democracy in Dominica. For foreign investors, eco-tourists, yachtsmen, and other travelers, the risk levels polls have flown off the chart given the rampant corruption, vote buying, sale of passports to all comers, and general fear and loathing. For international bankers, country risk has risen so high as to make it a jurisdiction to avoid leaving the population high and dry while the corrupt national leadership breaks in their lucre. Welcome to Dominica. For risk management purposes, it is the new Haiti, a kleptocracy.
Very interesting observation there by blogger Kenneth Richard, sorry. Haven't spoken to him just yet as it relates to whether he received his demand letter from the lawyers just yet. It's 9:01. Of course, the lawyers will be taking a closer look this morning at that demand letter. 9:01 is the morning time. Let's take a phone call. Hello, talk to me. And of course, more telephone calls. Are you there, caller? Morning.
The government is paving the way for the 10,000 Chinese coming into Dominica.
Somebody suggesting to me this morning, why did the opposition United Workers' Party boycott the consultation yesterday when they had a golden opportunity to challenge the Prime Minister? They were invited and could take the fight straight. Maybe I'll talk to the opposition leader this morning and ask him your question. Can be answering there for the opposition United Workers' Party. They will answer for themselves. 9:02, let's take another phone call. Of course, later in the hour, we'll invite the farmers. Hello. 4493095. Are you there?
Yes, Matt Peltier, I'm there.
All right, sir.
Good morning to you.
Yes, sir.
Matt Peltier, I told you yesterday that Dominica is under threat. We are under threat, Matt Peltier. Our democracy in this country seems to be coming to an end unless we stop it. But Peltier, that piece of legislation for elections in Dominica should never even be allowed to be on the order paper. That piece of legislation. Furthermore, to be debated in Parliament. And that if at all it is brought to Parliament, then the opposition should know what they should have to do in Parliament, Matt. We saw it in Japan's Parliament. We saw it in the British Parliament, Matt, where shoes were flying left, right, and center in the British Parliament, Matt. You know, the opposition has to do what, and they shouldn't boycott that thing. They should go to Parliament and do what they have to do in Parliament. And I'm calling on the representatives of the opposition on the Electoral Commission that they also have to strategize and do exactly what they have to do at the meetings of that Electoral Commission. And we should never obey Mr. Blackmore and the Commissioner of Police. We should match up. I'm calling Dominica. We should match up to Kennedy Avenue and Bafford and wherever it is.
Well, let's see what happens. Maybe you might be the first in line. 9:04. Hello, talk to me. You know what they say, when you point fingers, you have many more pointing back at you. Take the lead. Hello, talk to me.
Yeah, 2 points quickly. Matt, why legitimize criminals and thieves? You hear Richard conclude that we're governed by a kleptocracy, Matt?
Mm-hmm.
A cluster of thieves, Matt. That's what we are governed by. Matt, the next thing. Matt, the same idea in a different context leads to unequal results. What you need to look at is not the idea. It's in the context in which this idea operates. Then and now, is it the same? Look at on the heels of Matt Peltier, Thompson Fountain, Kenneth Ridjock. They're threatening to be sued and asking for apologies and compensation and whatever. Matt, at the same time, shut your mouth, Bill. You can't protest. You can't do nothing. You can't stand up nowhere. And go into further legitimize or the criminal activities having to do with the Electoral Commission. So with all that, the sequence of events, Matt, is it the same when there was an election and UWP or Edison James and them going Maho and say, well, A, B, or C, or whatever they went there to do, Matt? Is it the same, Matt? It is not. Because look at, it's a series, it's a sequence of events. And these guys are desperate. Edison James and them was not a cluster of criminals like these guys. So do not try to make me believe it's the same, Matt. They did it so we can do it too. It is not the same. Thank you.
It's 9:06. We're going to take a few more phone calls and, of course, take a break. Talk to me.
Yeah, my brother, I just want to make a few points there. I agree with you when you said the opposition should have taken advantage. There was a golden opportunity to challenge the Prime Minister. But like I said, I see weakness. And when there's weakness, that don't give the people confidence to go ahead and do anything, man. There's weakness amongst our people. And also, one caller said the rules and regulation is setting right now for the people that bought the passport. They'll be coming in soon. Like the caller said, the Chinese are coming in with the passport. That bought the passport, so they're making setting up the rules and regulations for them, my brother. You start them things happening, and they don't realize it's going to affect themselves. And like there's a saying that goes, history repeats itself. When they said our own black people sold other blacks to slavery, it's the same thing that's happening right now. History just repeating itself.
Caller, thank you very much. Yesterday, we heard the Prime Minister talk about the airport. I did promise you this morning I would replay that clip and have you react further. Hello.
Matt, good morning.
To you.
Yeah, two issues there. Matt, a public order, I heard a caller say a public order shouldn't be debated. Public order act shouldn't be debated. But an issuance of a public order act is all in order when it has a purpose. In the time of the United Workers' Party, the reason for a public order act, there was a meeting scheduled by the party in one location, and the opposite, there were three parties running, and one other party was planning a meeting in the same vicinity. That was why a public order act was issued. We need to get to the facts all the time.
Well, maybe, you know what, I will talk to Mr. Edison James. He can put that in perspective. He was the Prime Minister at the time when it happened. 9:08 is the morning time. Again, we'll try to talk to Mr. Edison James. You know, he'll put us in better perspective for us. Talking to a lawyer there this morning. Hello, interesting.
I will have the occasion to report to the country more extensively on the matter relating to the international airport. But suffice it to say, last year we engaged a firm to do a feasibility study of the possibility of an international airport for Dominica and to advise us on the best suited site. So all of the sites that we've been speaking about historically, except the one in Poguglu in Portsmouth, we gave consideration to those sites. I can say to you that what the experts are saying, they did not give much attention to this site, but actually the best site that they identified was in the vicinity of Ross University on this length of road in Portsmouth. But you understand the associated issues with that. But they have found a site in enough closer to Woodford Hill, closer to where the VGHs are identified, not the precise location, but certainly in that locality. And they have advised us, and we did a number of studies quietly. Those of you who may have seen a small, I should say, it's a small little plane that's how small it was at Melville Lawn. That was used to do some certain studies and so forth. So a lot of work was done in the last 6 months, quietly. So they came back and reported to us on the 20th of April with this one site which we believe would minimize on dislocation, minimize on cut and fill that would have to take place. And we will be looking at a runway of 2,500 meters in length and associated accompaniments. The projected cost of it, everything included, except for land acquisition, a complete terminal and all the necessary components of an airport would be in a region of 220 million US dollars. That's the cost and so forth. That's the cost for the airport that's been proposed. We have given, and I'm hoping that we will take a decision this week, the go-ahead to do the additional studies. So the commissioning of an environmental impact assessment, more soil studies to better inform us of the type of soil that we're dealing with on that particular site. Once we get back the EIA and we get back this further studies of the soil, then the intention is to move to the design phase so that we can come back to the country in a much more comprehensive consultation like this, including one in the Woodford area, to present this proposal to the people of the country, to our citizens, and to get your views, your suggestions on the international airport and how do you believe we will go about constructing this airport. My personal view has always been, and that of the party which I have the honor to lead, is that the international airport is important for a number of reasons. We don't have to debate it here, we don't have time. But our concern has always been, how do you go about paying for it? If you're to borrow for this, then all of you here will be in problems, including our children. And there's no bank that will give you that kind of money. St. Vincent built an airport and they got not 1 cent from the World Bank and they got not 1 cent from the CDB. Understand? They had to do a very creative way of constructing this airport. And the historian here will tell you, and most of the countries in the Caribbean which now have airports got it from the Allied Forces. The foundation was from the Allied Forces. One can think of, had it not been for the Allied Forces, how many of them would be really at this level of airport development? So we have to build ours by ourselves. We in the government, we have some certain ideas as to how we go about financing it. The intention of the government is to set up an airport development fund and every month allocate from the CBI funds a particular percentage that will go to that fund, the airport development fund, with a view to raising as much money as possible. And we also have some other creative ways that we will articulate to the country at the appropriate time.
All right, thank you very much. Somebody's asking me this morning through a text message. The Prime Minister does not have a design, but he has a cost. Interesting. On the line with me for 2 issues: the International Airport and, of course, the whole issue of the Public Other Act. Let's take the International Airport first. Mr. Addison James, former Prime Minister of Dominica. Mr. Addison James, good morning to you. Interesting discussion this morning.
Good morning and thanks for calling me.
Yes, thank you, sir. What do you make of the whole airport discussion at this time? $220 million US.
Madam,
If I ever fall in love.
Madam, tempted to... Are you there?
Yes, sir, go ahead.
I'm tempted to apologize to the Prime Minister for causing him the pain that he is in now because, he said that I'm the one responsible for us not having an airport now. So perhaps if I had not done what he said I did and caused us not to have an airport, he would probably not be in this pain that he is in there now. But I also said, Matt, that as long as Mr. Skerrit is the Prime Minister of this country, Dominica will not have an international airport. Because, Matt, the only suitable site, taking into consideration all the features and all the aspects of this airport that has been identified, is the site which was identified during the time that the United Workers' Party was in office. And you realize I didn't say it was the site identified by the United Workers' Party, because it was a site that was identified by the experts who had been engaged to do the work, who reviewed the possible other sites that had been spoken about, and concluded that the site up in the Londonderry area was the only site suitable to fit all aspects of the airport as has been conceived. That is what it is. So Mr. Skerrit cannot build an international airport because he does not want to go and use that site
because he's too small and petty-minded to go on that site, because it will always be said that that was a site I associated with the United Workers' Party. So let me put that on the record. But this is a whole confusing thing there. Mr. Skerrit, as the Prime Minister of the country, must come clean with the people. He told us the other day, he went to the school, the Northeast Comprehensive School, and spoke to children, students, and essentially lied to them. He told them that there was an American firm that was going to be meeting with the cabinet on the 21st of April to make the submissions to the cabinet with respect to work that they had been doing. On the 21st, nobody saw these people, but we heard Mr. Skerrit say that they came on the 20th. And I suspect that is because he thought that people would have been looking out for these guys on the 21st. So, knowing that they would not be seen on the 21st, he told us that they came on the 20th, the day before. Mr. Skerrit is telling us that they have identified a site close to the one that Ms. Charles had identified. Ms. Charles never identified any site. He told us close to the site, not exact site, but in the locality. At this point in time, Matt, let's be reasonable. Dominicans, you may not support United Workers' Party, you may hate Edison James and so on, but use your own common sense. But if at this point in time, Mr. Skerrit cannot identify it with a very public project like this, he cannot tell us the site that was identified. He cannot tell us the site that was identified. It tells you something. It tells you something. He's telling us a cost, $220 million US. Matt, then he tells us that the EIA has not been done. Matt, at the Melville Airport, you know that major problem we have down there with the overtopping? They're telling us just the other day in Wesley, I understand Mr. Darrow, the Minister for Health, who talked about people who are braying over this CBI matter. Just the other day, he told us that they've concluded now that it is too high a cost to do the remedial work that has to be done. That was so because they did not do the EIA. Had they done the EIA, it would have shown them that they probably needed another $15 million to do the work that would prevent this problem that is happening there. So an EIA can result in substantial additional cost with respect to a project. So the EIA has not been done. So the $220 million that he talks about, that is going to have to be revised substantially if they ever come about building that airport. He tells us that there is soil work to be done, soil analysis. But in the case of the Kittisavan to Daly's road, when we embarked on that road, we used the costings that we met there. And we asked the British, and they agreed to commit a certain amount of money. When work actually started, it was realized that the soil type that was there that was actually found was such that we had to make a different estimate, and it cost us probably, the cost was doubled. So I'm saying this to say the importance of these two factors in determining cost. So the Prime Minister to tell us that there's a cost of $220 million US on that project without these two important elements, the EIA and the soil work, and plus the question of the relocation of people and the cost to do with acquiring the land. Remember, it was $16 million that the land up at Melville Hall, Londonderry, $16 million that was involved in the cost of the land acquisition. In the Woodford area there now, I suspect that you're going to have a lot of buildings that have been put up there since when this initial study was done during the time of the Freedom Party. So he's all over the place on this matter. And he's simply not telling the truth about this whole airport thing, but he's in a quandary, and because he does not want to deal with the site that was identified when the United Workers' Party was there. But an international airport is important for the country. At the time when it was being spoken about, the estimated cost was $270 million. Something like that. Mr. Skerrit cannot tell me that he had available to him $300 million in 2004 available to him from the Chinese for to be used in any way that he determined was appropriate. Any right-thinking leader at that time would have jumped for the international airport, bearing in mind the expenditure that would be involved, the work and whatever that would be involved at the time of construction, and what it could do for the continued economic contribution it would make. So that is where we are on this thing. My conclusion is that Mr. Skerrit will not build an airport. Dominica will not have an airport while Mr. Skerrit is Prime Minister of this country.
Another big question to you, Mr. Edson James. Of course, the whole issue of the Public Other Act surfaced this morning. And of course, your name and your administration sort of surfaced because people are asking this morning, how can the law be unjust when the UWP used it against the Freedom Party? The people need to just accept this and move on. That's a suggestion coming from a lawyer this morning. How do you react, sir? What's your take?
Well, I heard the PR of the United Workers' Party, Mr. George, make the point that neither he nor the United Workers' Party has ever said that the law was unjust or criticized the act. The Public Order Act number 1501 has been in place since the 13th of May, 1954. I notice that there have been certain amendments, or perhaps there have been certain amendments in 73, 76, and 90. But it has been in effect since 13th of May, 1954. We have never said, and we do not say, that it is unjust or whatever it is. Any law is there, and it's how you use it. With respect to the situation in 1996, I think it was at by-election time. I think I heard somebody call to draw attention to that. And may I suggest that, you see, when you are going to deal with these issues, I hope you're not going to accuse me of trying to tell you what to do, but you do tell politicians, journalists do tell politicians to suggest to politicians what they should do. May I suggest that when you all are going to deal with these matters, that you do your research initially to inform yourself so that you probably are not led astray by anybody else. Good. It was in 1996, I think it was, that there was a by-election in the Maho constituency. The United Workers' Party indicated its intention to have a meeting at the Maho playing field. The Freedom Party indicated its intention to have a meeting at the Maho playing field. There was an operative of the Freedom Party who was responsible for the keys and whatever the management of that place. There was a situation of a conflict where both sides were claiming that they had the right to be there in a by-election situation. There was obviously the potential for some kind of clash, some kind of unfairness, one person feeling that I was there before you, you were there before me. In that circumstance, we decided, okay, to avoid any major problem and issue, we are not going to have either of the parties having a meeting there, and both parties moved on and had their meeting somewhere else. So that was the circumstances. So in that context, United Workers' Party denied itself, it denied Freedom Party. So that is where it was. It is completely different to what is happening here now, where Mr. Skerrit and the Freedom Party and the Labour Party are under pressure with respect to the mishandling of the economic citizenship program, particularly as it pertains to the use of our diplomatic passports, which has landed us in a very negative way before the international community. And we are hearing we are aware of situations where they are telling us that there's this pillar of propriety involving due diligence being done in these matters. Yet we see Madueke, we see Montferrat and so on. And the government is fearful, it is afraid of dealing with the issues at the center of this protest action that is going on, that is the question of Montferrat, Madueke, Corralo, and these people. But you notice they're not talking about this. They're having a town hall meeting twice a day, 3 times, 10 times a week. They will not talk about the central issue that the United Workers' Party the opposition has put forward. Okay? So this situation here, a request was made for an activity today. It was made, I think you heard from the PRO, since the 3rd of April or thereabouts. How can it be reasonable for the authorities to wait until the day before, almost the last working day before the meeting is scheduled, to respond to a request which was given since 3rd of April? You know why, Matt? It's a tactical thing they're doing. They reckon that if the United Workers' Party were to announce the activity before getting permission, and let me say to people again, the law says that if you're going to have a procession, you must request permission. So let us not get carried away and talk about why should the party be applying for permission when they know it will not be given. The law provides that. If there's a time when people decide, okay, to hell with the law, we're going to do our thing, that's another issue. But the United Workers' Party is taking the position that it must seek to comply with the law as it moves forward in this matter.
All right, caller. Thank you very much. That was the former Prime Minister of Dominica putting in perspective this Public Order Act that took place also in 1996. Complete different circumstances. I hope the lawyer in the BVI is taking note, okay? 9:25 is the morning time. Talk to me. Thank you, Mr. Louis. Hello.
Matt Peltier.
I'm here.
This is Clarence Christian.
And you know what? I'm not going to allow you this morning, Mr. Clarence Christian. I was told what you were talking about me on the weekend, even accusing me of begging for breakfast in the morning. Can I allow you on this radio? Not under my watch. 9:26. I'm hoping you get the message, and you might get some legal papers as well soon too. Hello, talk to me. Time we take some action. Hello, talk to me.
Good morning, Matt.
Hello.
Matt, if you're having a consultation on a very controversial matter, do you have somebody who does a prayer attack the other side when you're going to have a consultation, Matt? It seems to me you should want someone who is very tactical and diplomatic to say words that wouldn't infuriate either side. They brought this priest in there, and he totally attacked the opposing ideology of the consultation. I just don't understand how that can ever be proper in any sphere, Matt. Good morning.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Somebody might say, well, you should apologize to Clarence Christian. No, I'm not going to apologize this morning to Mr. Clarence Christian. We've taken it too personal. We call and talk about the issues everybody is allowed to call, but don't make it personal. Hello, 9:27.
Yes, Matt, morning.
Yes.
Yeah, I would like to conclude my part of my intervention by saying to that, on the question of the opposition attending a consultation with the so-called government, you see, Matt, me and myself, that's when I criticize them. If they have ever attended any meeting with that cabal, on any consultation to even give advice, because we want them out. If they want them out, they shouldn't be advising them, they shouldn't be consulting with them at all.
Well, some people think it was a perfect opportunity to speak. 9:28, we're going to take a break, and then we'll come back. Very interesting talk. We'll talk to the farmers, too, when we come back, and then, of course, talk on the block, 1 o'clock. More interesting about a minute here on the big station.
Not get him up to make the urine and see him 3 times a day. Madam Leely, do urine, Harry, don't let him to sleep, are you? And where's the prescription? He did me a push, mommy. What's the sense of buying that? Lemon coffee, say good time. No, you see the importance of going to your pharmacist, listening to your pharmacist, and having confidence in your pharmacist. FPS.Plus will they place a higher premium on patient-pharmacist relationship than Quick Care Pharmacy Cote Halsgrove just before the National Bank. Cote Quick Care is not just a quick fix. It's not just about tablets and spoonfuls. They brought back the care into medicine. Whether it's a prescription or over-the-counter medication, the priority is your health. To take the right medication, the right amount for the right reason. Madam Harry, I see right in your medical book, next of kin, Henrietta Harry, movie farmer. By the way, it's next of kin, King. The Harry Ukakemo movie. All I want for you is good care. That is why I always recommend Good Care Pharmacy. We go to Halsgrove.
In other news, NBD has dropped their interest rate on vehicle loans to 7.5%.
Babe, turn up the volume on the radio.
The bank encourages customers to take advantage of this opportunity to get full financing on a vehicle with this low rate from now until May 15.
Did you hear that? 7.5% interest rate and full financing?
What's more, 3 lucky customers will get their vehicle license paid for up to 3 years. Visit a branch, call 255-2300 or go to nbdominica.com for more information and other terms and conditions.
Hun, I'm off to NBD.
Babe, wait for me.
Apply for your vehicle loan today. NBD, your partner, your bank.
Enjoy the simple things the joy Soranza brings. From the land to pack, it's a good natured snack. All natural, Danza today. On that show, hands in chips, and to pack, it's a good natured snack.
It's now a tradition, the annual Mania 7-Eleven Plus Super Center Big Edge and Digicel Mother's Day Party at the Anchorage Hotel on Mother's Day, Sunday, May 14th from 6 p.m. to midnight. Featuring swinging stars, Mr. Mix, Matt in the morning, DJ Soursop, Calypsonians, and Prince Radix.
Do you have a dear mother?
Lots of prizes, complimentary free glass of wine and Tony's punch and entrance.
Mama, don't cry no more.
Entrance $20 and tickets are available from Bullseye Pharmacy, Smallex Mobile, Skitter in the Market, Bronx, Mavesty, Mimi, and more.
In this place, certain men should hide their face. The way they treat their mothers and disgrace.
All the partners include Courts, Milan's Bar and Grill, Eastside Trading, Tony's Punch, Lex President's Hill, Anchorage Hotel, Caribbean, Eve's Deco, TVS Radio, QFM, and more. Take your mom, your mommy, your mommy, your mother, your stepmother, adopted mother, godmother, grandmother, nenen to the Mother's Day party, Mother's Day, Anchorage Hotel, Manchester.
Make sure your mommy okay.
The National Tourism Trade Show and Cocktail is here again, and this time it's new and improved. Come celebrate Destination Dominica's unique and authentic treasures at its new venue, the beautiful and prestigious Dominica State House. Participate in our world-class seminars on industry development, hosted by some of the most influential minds in the business. Come enjoy the atmosphere and entertainment. Interact with our trade show vendors, overseas travel partners, artisan producers, tapas chefs, and vineyard brands and other service providers spanning from various industry sectors. It all culminates with a grand networking cocktail at the Dominica State House Conference Room. The National Tourism Trade Show and Cocktail 2017 promises to be an authentic, one-of-a-kind experience. So don't miss your chance to see the tourism industry come alive on April 29, 2017 from 11 a.m. at the Dominica State House. For more information on NTTC, you can contact us via telephone 767-440-3430 or 616-1055 or email us at info@dhta.org. The NTTC 2017 is brought to you by the Dominica Hotel and Tourism Association, Digicel Dominica Limited, Discover Dominica Authority, Bonus Car Rentals, CIBC First Caribbean International Bank, Energy Management Services EMS Limited, Rainbow Rentals, and Tropical Shipping. DHTA 2017 Corporate Partners, Platinum Partner Digicel Dominica Limited, Gold Partner CGM Gallagher Insurance Brokers Barbados Limited, and Silver Partners The Aid Bank, Archipelago Trading, Belfast Estate, CIBC First Caribbean International Bank, Dominica Business Systems, and Island Car Rentals. The National Tourism Trade Show.
It's now a tradition, the annual Mania 7-Eleven Plus Super Center Big Edge and Digicel Mother's Day Party at the Anchorage Hotel on Mother's Day, Sunday, May 14th from 6 p.m. to midnight. Featuring swinging stars, Mr. Mix, Matt in the morning, DJ Soursop, Calypsonians, and Prince Radix.
Do you have a dear mother?
Lots of prizes, complimentary free glass of wine and Tony's punch and entrance.
Mama, don't cry no more.
Entrance $20 and tickets are available from Bullseye Pharmacy, Smallex Mobile, Skitter in the Market, Bronx, Mavesty, Mimi, and more.
In this place, certain men should hide their face. The way they treat their mothers and disgrace.
All the partners include Courts, Milan's Bar and Grill, Eastside Trading, Tony's Punch, Lex President's Hill, Anchorage Hotel, Caribbean, Eve's Deco, TVS Radio, QFM, and more. Take your mom, your mommy, your mommy, your mother, your stepmother, adopted mother, godmother, grandmother, nenen to the Mother's Day party, Mother's Day, Anchorage Hotel, Manchester.
Make sure your mommy okay.
It's we versus them as Bright Opens presents a cute World Cup third test match of West Indies versus Pakistan. Windsor Bank Stadium, May 10th to 14th. Dominica! Partners include Digicel, Scotiabank, JetBlue Airways, Blue Waters, Joma, Dominica Cricket Association. Stands $40, East End $30, grounds $25. West Indies versus Pakistan, May 10th to 14th. Dominica!
The DPSU invites all members and all patriots to a rally for the cause Thursday, April 27th on the grounds of the DPSU building from 4:30 p.m.
We shall overcome.
DPSU, united in purpose, united in action. Come share in our luncheon on Friday, April 28th and our wireless walk to Spanning Falls on Monday, May 1st. May Day from 9 a.m. Public officers, police officers, fishermen, teachers, firemen, prison officers, all patriots rally for a just cause. Join us on Thursday, April 27th. Them belly full, but we hungry. Find the money. We say no to 000. And don't forget to pick up your DPSU t-shirts, only $30.
Do you want to drive longer for less? New state-of-the-art Rubis Ultratech gasoline and diesel fuel uses advanced fuel technology to optimize your vehicle's performance and improve its fuel economy. By removing deposits, Ultratech helps keep your engine clean and running like new. What does this really mean for you? Simple. You drive longer and save money. Fuel the difference with Rubis Ultratech fuel. Get Rubis. Get going.
Dominica. Always making time for the farmers there on a Tuesday. They will tell us what's going on. Of course, the agricultural industry. Mr. Louis is here, of course, doing a lot better. Of course, Patrick is here with us this morning. Mr. Louis, what's the latest?
Let me say good morning to all listeners. My first lady and husband and daughter and granddaughters, good morning. Good morning to you all. Whether you are here overseas, good morning. And good morning to my people in Riviera Syrup, my cocoa and coffee people. Young peace everywhere, all over Dominica, Portsmouth, anywhere, Granby, everywhere. Good morning to you all. I am not 100%, so it's not that I'm going to talk wrong, but I am glad I'm here so that you can hear my voice, because so many visitors, they want to know about my conditions. Alma Harris in Canada, good morning. Mistress Douglas in Florida, if you are listening, good morning, you and your family. And everybody, all around the world, good morning to you all. Matt, the latest is that we lost a prominent farmer in Colby Street. That was yesterday morning. His name is Raphael Lequent. Let me send condolences to
his family,
all the family, the Lequent family, and special condolence on behalf of his son, Steve Lequent. Matt.
He's from what community?
Colby Street.
Colby Street, okay.
Yeah, Raphael Lequent. Matt, the man went and got some good food, which is good, just on the west side of his house, under the cliff there, where they have some mango trees, etc., crafted mangoes. And the man took a fall, and that's it.
That's how it goes nowadays, yeah.
He died within 3 days or 4 days.
Wow. He died at the hospital?
Died at his home.
Wow, okay. Sorry to hear.
Yeah, died at his home, because when they take him to the doctors, whatever they did to him, send him back home, I can detail that because I don't know. And then somebody gave him hand to take him at his home, and then he go in, and within 3 days at his home, he was talking to his son in the night, and when his son go upstairs to sleep, when something just woke him up, when he go down, his father is gone. And the condolences.
What's his age?
His age is around 70 something.
Okay, you expect this kind of thing.
But a great farmer in the West Coast.
Yeah.
Right, I respect that. We also, not in a nutshell, I attend a Black Sea Katoka meeting at the PSC Center last week, Friday.
What was the focus of that meeting?
The focus was on the Black Sea Katoka.
Okay.
Black Sea Katoka.
Who organized the meeting?
It was, well, in fact, I get two telephone call, one from Dr. Clayton Chillingport and one from Mr. Stedman.
So that seems to be a private issue.
I wouldn't say that's a private issue because he invited us, and then most of the people that know about or doing the spraying, they were there, etc. And they spoke. And then I didn't say nothing. I had pain, but I was called, so I went. That pain, I sat down there.
So after the meeting, Mr. Louis, do you have hope for the future of Black Sigatoka?
Not under this condition. What I heard, there is hope because there's solution. But to put it together in Dominica, we do not have a government that are so interested.
Okay, I get you now.
Take it on.
So it can happen.
It can happen, but not under that system. I can tell you clearly.
And this is not politics.
Because that is not politics. We're talking about farming. We're talking about bananas.
Okay.
If it can be done in Guadeloupe, Martinique next door.
Saint Lucia.
It can be done here.
Of course.
But who behind it? I don't see not a single minister of government there. So that they can say something or pick something or write something or report something. Where we are.
Yeah.
Dr. Clayton cannot do it. Neither the gentleman. They cannot do it. That is not, they might interested to see something happen, but it will not happen under that pressure. Matt, we have a lot of problem with this government that Dominica is going down, 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 down. And all I can see, that's why politics come in. Not that I'm interested in politics. I'll never be a politician. Who am I? I won several times. Mr. Skate is a hard-headed man. And all he's looking for, no, Mr. Skate, if you are listening, you are Dominica listening, and if they recorded me and give it to you, Whitnell Joseph is speaking. You are a hard-headed man. You bring the country where it is, and you have no way of taking us from where we are. No way. You talking just, I use the word, people wanted to know, I explained to them what it means. Stammer, you're talking about
stammering lips, yeah.
You don't know what you're talking about. You just like a man groping in the dark. We don't need that. We need a leader come straight forward.
Somebody, just to make a point here, before you continue, Mr. Louis, somebody says to me, professional guy, he's a pilot. He says, just to let you know, Matt, that the Prime Minister has no idea what he's talking about for an airport to be of international standards. Its runway have to be 10,000 feet and more. The Prime Minister said the runway will be 2,500 meters.
That's for his own purpose.
Which is just 8,202 feet. Need to be within the region of 3,050 meters. All right, so I just wanted to make that point.
But you're right, Matt, you see what we're talking about? Who am I? I am not there to correct Prime Minister. Who am I? I'm nobody, I'm nothing. I'm on my way out, you know. But what I see in the future for Dominica is very bleak presently.
You're not confident at all?
Not at all. I don't believe this country can, this present government can put us nowhere in Dominica, bring shame, degrade our name.
Will be more an obstacle.
And dirty us around the world, and we do not know where we will end up into. We do not map. You look at you, they're attacking, you know. You just a journalist. You just trying to find the truth and expose it, or teach us, or help us. But look at you on that, even talking about a breakfast or a cup of tea. Look at you, they're talking about suing you. Huh? When somebody spoke and you say what you just play what the people said, because of what I said, they're going to sue you for what I said. Huh? You play what I play. That is my way. No, in this, what I see in Dominica now, scary, is just fighting for one man, and that is scary. You see his corner everywhere. You see the country don't want him anymore. Today, Matt Peltier, all all our Dominica friends are doing now, you know, except where they don't vote for Skerrit. He make promises, but nothing. Collier flying up, Biot flying up, Dublin flying up, St. Joseph, Maho flying up, everywhere looking good, where Skerrit believe. Now today, every house is building in the corner in Roseau, you know. That is Skerrit work that going on, you know. That's Skerrit work, right? Because he want to regain some of the seats that he lost. And he want to keep what he has, just to protect his skin. But Mr. Skerrit, I already told you to read Job chapter 8 and verse 25 and 24. You will see where you are. You are groping in the dark, and there is no way out. Unless you yourself decided, I'm leaving that office. I try, I don't succeed. I try, I'm not. You cannot come tell up lies everything. The other day you come with a airport in your back pocket at the time of the last election. In your back pocket. One day America going to do it. One day China going to do it. Now the passport money that going to, where you stand, Mr. Skerrit? With asking, I am, you want to know my age? I will tell it to you because I die tonight. I'm 84 and a half years and a few days. Okay? That's my age. I'm on my way out. I'm a sick man. I'm not well. I don't ask you looking for a handout from nobody. If God cannot supply my need, I don't want nobody else to supply my need. Simple as that. I've been destroyed right here in Dominica. In Dominica, I've been destroyed. And Dr. Thomas, the night I would pass on, Dr. Thomas saved my life. God sent him to save my life for that particular time. And from there on, Dr. Paul taking it on. Dr. Henry, good morning, sir. I might see you later or tomorrow. And then put me into a man in St. Lucia now. Dr. Daniel. Chris Daniel, even last night, yesterday he called me. He want to know how
you progressing,
etc. And I 2 months consecutively, I have pain because of somebody who said that she's a professional, destroy me. And look at time it taking me to recover from that. I was not sick up to now, I'm not sick. It's just I could not pass my urine just to put a catheter and let me pass my urine and whatever next after will do. And I've been destroyed. And Dr. Paul, thank you. Dr. Thomas, the operator, I call it an operator because when you caught me, Matt Peltier, I feel anything come inside my flesh, you know. The cutting as if it was raw cut, you know. But maybe could not have time to wait.
So we have to take a second look at our professionals at the PMH. 9:48. That's what you're basically saying. Of course, Patrick may have a few words before we wrap it up.
Of course, Matt, I'm always keenly aware that the reason why we're in so much in turmoil and fracas in Dominica is because we turn our heads, our backs on agriculture. This is what gets us in the stage that we're at. We took agriculture, a whole social arrangement, people living for years, planting crops and whatnot, utilizing the soil to keep us, keep our heads above the waters. And suddenly, some fellas came there who didn't understand what was happening and proceeded to kill the whole agriculture business. And now they're wondering what happened to them. Up to now, Matt, no agriculturist has recommended that they sell passports. And look at the situation they get themselves into. They still continue the lie. This government has a real aptitude for lies, you know. They're bringing this defense of the sale of passports on the CBI. And this is not what we're questioning. We're questioning the sale of diplomatic passports to vagabonds and crooks. This is what we need an answer for, and you must answer. The same way when we started with the government, we were seeking an explanation for the calamity of the Layu River Hotel. Where did all that money go to? In whose pocket? It certainly went in somebody's pocket, Matt. And they have never been talking, if you notice.
You're not afraid of being sued? I think it's flat.
They can't sue me. When they sue, they will find they have nothing but they will take the money on a false scheme. First of all, they don't understand my language.
That's a genuine question.
Look at the Layu River setup, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
We set that up as Dominicans. More than one government got involved in that.
Yeah.
And the government comes today and tells you that it's building hotels in Portsmouth and in somewhere else at the back where we can't see. Nobody is saying let us restore the Layu River Hotel because we had a lot of money carded for this Layu River project. We had $54 million attributed and put aside for the Layu River project. From that day on, it seems some fellas started to thief the money. From that day on, Matt, there was a big slide. And the slide took the government away from all productive activity, away from manufacturing. Matt, see this thing about the CP. That is the easiest thing, I think, in Dominica to revive the CP. Why? Because all the people who know about running the CP are there presently. They are there waiting to advise you, to tell you what to do. What is so hard about compressing copra and producing oil and producing feed? What is and producing soap? What is so hard about these things? Yeah, these are not so hard. But this government deliberately turned its back on agriculture, and it's paying for that, Matt. You too ungrateful. Here is the gift of life. We give it to you. Water, soil, air, everything. And you turn your ungrateful backs on agriculture, and these things are happening to you now. And you cannot even retract from where you are.
Let me ask Mr. Louis a question before we take a phone call. Mr. Louis, a lot of requests. Read the coffee you've made in Dominica making it. What's the latest on this? We have an update?
Mark, the coffee have a future. The coffee have a future, but government has to involve. You have to involve. I personally, I'm all right with my coffee. I personally, I make a headway in different angle now with my coffee. It is noted that it is a good coffee. The coffee is good. But I'm just a man. Look at my age. Now I have to look for ways and means by machine, sheller, grinder, roaster, whatever the case may be. So you see, it takes a lot from me.
To invest.
To invest. Now, they're giving money in end, but as far as I...
So you're not receiving anything for small business?
Eric, I take away my livelihood and I value nothing. But you don't see the house I'm living in? I can't build a house yet, you know. I haven't got the phone, I haven't got the means. For me to build a house, I have to sell a portion of land. Right?
You're not willing to sell at this time?
No, I'm not way upset. People calling me for land to buy. But what I notice, the Astafan, they doesn't sell land. The Nazi, they doesn't sell land. Why have to learn from them? Why should I sell my land? For what? I can feed myself now by the grace of God. I have a roof over my head.
And you're satisfied?
I'm satisfied with that. I don't asking people to come and see me in a luxurious palace and etc. looking at that ceiling. No, I'm not there yet.
Come where you're comfortable at this time.
Simple as that. I have a beautiful wife, hardworking, taking care of me, and I have no complaint about life.
All right, let's take a phone call before we wrap it up. Hello.
That's good, Mr. Lee.
Yes.
I just called to make 3 quick points.
Yeah, make a quick comment. Yeah.
Number one, that lawsuit thing and that letter. And a lot of times people, and you would know that cases are filed just for filing sake, just to balance off the public perception. It's like pressure on you for something, let me just sue the person. So there are a lot of ignorant people out there. Once they hear a lawsuit, then
they get afraid.
They get afraid, and all the people in the public will look at the person being sued as maybe he's wrong because they sue him. But a lot of times, this lawsuit don't go anywhere. You know it happened to you.
Well, it happened to me from we read the foreign minister recently. She suddenly dropped it. Of course, she took on my colleagues, but it was dropped in recent time.
And in New York, they filed their rubbish in Brooklyn,
Mm-hmm.
and they could not even spell my name properly to begin with. So they filed a suit against somebody that did not exist.
As a matter of fact, they wrote the letter. I'm looking at, and of course, I talked to my lawyers this morning. They wrote Matt Peltier. Matt Peltier is not my name, okay? Just to notify the lawyers out there. Matt Peltier is not my name. They call me Matt as a short version, but I'm Matthias. Just for that you know, okay? That's my legal name. I don't have to accept anything under Matt Peltier. Just some instruction. Thank you very much. We have to move on. 9:56. Hello.
Yeah, my brother. I just want to say good morning to the farmers in the house, and Mr. Louis, I wish you 100% recovery. One thing I admire, Mr. Louis, you stand for what you believe in, and you have nothing, you have nothing to lose. You speak your mind, and I wish many of us out there would do that. But Mr. Louis, I just want to tell you, do drink a lot of natural spring water, my elder. Drink a lot of natural spring water, and we need you around.
All right, thank you. If I know Mr. Louis and following his life for a little while now, he only drinks spring water. Thank you very much. Hello.
Matt, good morning.
Yes.
Matt, I just find it strange that Mr. Gonzalez has not sold one passport and he still got his airport. How come Mr. Skerritt is still having difficulty with the airport and he's selling so many passports?
Well, he says that he's going to take some money from the CBI monthly to finance the airport. Let's find out what's going on. But let me allow the farmers around the table to wrap it up this morning. Next here, the news from the news desk.
Not for us, so back to the coffee, we can clarify some point about the coffee.
Yes.
But the coffee have potential. As I said, this guy will not come in because with the name will be feature all about it.
Permanently, yes.
Right? So, but if by the grace of God, there is a change of government, we can immediately fire on the coffee program.
Thank
and
you.
It will work.
Patrick,
and
finally.
This is exactly what we're facing, Matt. Look, if the government wants to do good and to get back on its feet, it has to do with the restoration of agriculture. Mm-hmm. So many people involved in agriculture raised their standard of living, sent their children to school, took care of We Care program. They had their own program taking care of the old people.
I raised up 15 children.
That's right.
I didn't cut that Dokuba, no land, no nothing.
That's right. And you were not expecting trouble.
Which government that
But
gave me anything?
what I'm trying to tell you is the government came and it broke up the social system. Whereas a young man used to study, getting up during the morning and taking off to the heights. That's why most Dominicans used to shoot for, shoot for the heights. And everybody knows everybody else in the heights, Matt. It was a community of people. And unless government understand what it has done and the sin that they have brought on the farmers and the destruction that they have brought on the farmers, unless they find some way of taking that back, they're in trouble. Look, government is talking about bananas, Matt. When you pass, the agricultural minister is from Castle Bruce. When you pass on the Castle Bruce stretch, they used to have bananas upon bananas. Green, going as far as the river on the Mopo side. Isn't that what government's supposed to revive? Flatland looking at you. Watered. They even put irrigation down there and they're not talking about that. And they're talking about going Kalibishi and putting down bananas to sell for Britain at the end of the year. That will never happen, Matt. These fellas must get on their knees and repent.
And before I leave,
repent for what they do to the people of Dominica.
Before I leave that stadium, I want to let the government, Miss Danielle, I love you. You know that. When we meet, you used to hug and kiss, whatever. You're a nice lady. But you join the cabal of lies. Read John chapter 8, verse 44. I leave you with that.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next week. Thank you, gentlemen. Right. Of course, good luck with your farms. Thank you. Thank you.
intelligent, poised, and talented young ladies will vie for the title of Miss Mayfest 2017 on Saturday, April 29 from 7:30 p.m. at the Reunion Village, Marigot Fisheries Complex. They are Anika Williams of Goodwill, Sharice Anthony and Wilma Stevens of Marigot, Deanne Daru of the Kalinago Territory, Brendel Benjamin of Woodford Hill, Nisha Prosper of Rivesiri and Monjon, and Vincia Massicot of Castle Bruce. The price is only $30. Hosted by Peter Prosper and Miss Mayfest 2014, Patrice Dorset. The after party follows with Afuawi songs with Ron B and his crew from the Bronx, New York. This show is produced by the Marigot Activities Committee and sponsored by the Marigot Cooperative Credit Union, Prevo Enterprises, Perkins Pizza, Duwas, Digital Play, Archipelago Trading, Fruiter, Belfast Estate, Springfield Trading, Afuawi Songs, and Al and Kel Promotions. It's the 10th Miss Mayfest pageant, Saturday, April 29, forming part of Marigot Reunion 2017.
Stick around for the news, and of course, Real Estate Vibes continues right after that. This is the big station. The news is next.